Well, firstly, it's terrific to be able to address the shareholders again, as we do, albeit in very strange virtual circumstances and not in our usual format in the Clyde Auditorium. I think this is my 6th annual general meeting now, and it's been great to report on the progress that we've made through those years. However, this year's been a particularly tough year. It's been a tough year for the supporters, and I think I'd like to start just by remembering those Rangers fans who've passed away this year, sadly, through COVID and other illnesses, and we've obviously lost some members of the Rangers family this year. We've lost some former players, sadly, and just like to remember Tam Forsyth, David Hagan and Mari Zaliukas, who's sadly no longer with us. I would also like to acknowledge the tremendous effort of the NHS and the other key workers who've all been holding, who've performed a remarkable job through the last 9 months or so, as we've dealt with this, the virus, and it's been a difficult time for everyone. So it's, on one hand, it's great to be here, albeit different, unusual circumstances, but we're pleased to be able to update the shareholders on the progress that we're making at the club. Delighted to report that the revenue came in at just under £60 million, which has probably trebled, I think, in the 5 years or so since the current board took over. So we're delighted at the progress that's there. Really the revenue's there's 4 main pillars to the revenue. You've got your season ticket income, which nudged up by over £1 million, which again, we're delighted that the fans as ever, and as I have done over the last number of years, have stood by us, and to have sold out our season tickets. Last year was remarkable. To have sold out this year again is remarkable, but that's been a nice increase there. Our commercial revenues are really growing at a pace at the moment, which we're delighted to see as well. And James Bisgrove joined us almost 18 months ago now, and has grown the team there, and we'll touch on that shortly. The third pillar that we've got is the European income, and I think that's where we obviously saw the largest growth in the 1920 accounts due to our run in Europe and getting to the last 16. So that was fantastic, but it demonstrates how important regular participation in the group stages and the latter stages of Europe really is to us. And the last pillar, which we'll touch on shortly, is the players trading. And we don't have much at all in the way of player trading, but what we do have now that we haven't had to the same extent is a real value in the squad. And we know that in time, and a key part of our business model is that we have to facilitate an increase of income by trading players. And we know that's the fourth pillar that we have to really focus on over the course of the next 12 months. We've seen the growth in particularly in the number of partnerships which we've been able to secure through last year, and that's continued into this year. And we're delighted with the progress that we've made there. James has got the team, the commercial team, they're all working together, they're working as one, which is fantastic to see the progress we're making there. I think as we improve the ability to sell the way we're selling, the way we're able to project the club, it becomes self-fulfilling, because as the results in the pitch get better, as the profile of the players increases, as we perform better in Europe, that all makes it slightly easier. I'm not saying the guys have got an easy job, because they've got a tough job in the current environment, but the guys have done a fantastic job under James's leadership in taking the commercial business forward. There's then the corporate sales, the hospitality, and then the various other aspects of it. Rangers TV, for example, has progressed very well over the course of the last 5 years, and again, a lot of that's down to the investment that the board and the investors have made in technology and in staff and in other resources, and we're beginning to see the benefits of that now. The Castor deal is a terrific deal for us. It takes us to a place that we've not been for many years. I think the turnaround of Castor and the quick turnaround of that deal in terms of the design and the production of our new kit was incredible. Normally you'd have about 15 months, 18 months to design and produce the strip. The guys there did it in 3. So we managed to condense that into a very short period of time. We look forward to the second year of that partnership, because we'll have more time to plan and to look at what we want to do. And again, we're looking towards our 150th anniversary. So there'll be some special merchandise and kit that we're looking for that year. But no, the Castor deal has been probably the biggest game changer actually in the commercial aspect of the business, and we're looking to move that forward and continually to push it on. Well, the Ibrox disaster was a very dark day in the club's history, and it's one that we we always make sure we commemorate and mark in a respectful manner. It's something we would have liked to have marked it in a way, the 50th anniversary is obviously a key milestone. We had plans for what we could do to try and commemorate it in a way similar to the way that it was commemorated back in 1971. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we're unable to do that just now, but it's the club's intention that we will do that as soon as we're able to do that. Once the restrictions are removed, we're looking at just 2 or 3 different events which we would look to hold, which would be done in a tasteful and respectful manner. They have to be done with the families in mind, and with the families being involved to the extent that they want to be involved, because this is about the families and about remembering those people who sadly didn't come home from a football match 50 years ago. We will still commemorate it in the way that we do every other year, because we are able to do that. So we will do that, and there'll be various, the floral wreath will be laid at the John Gregg statue, there'll be a minute's silence, and there'll be 1 or 2 other things which will be done on the day of the game to make sure that we commemorate those people that sadly lost their lives. We have established an email address for people who were affected by the disaster in 1971, and that's always remembered at rangers.co.uk. And I would ask if anyone has anything they would like to ask of us or to be involved, just to please get in touch with us and contact us. And if there's anything we can do to help, to assist, then we will certainly do that, or we'll certainly do our best to do that if we can. But no, it's a very sad day that needs to be remembered in the appropriate manner. Since we came back from the lockdown, it is a renewed focus and determination in the team to really push on and take it to another level. I think we've made a lot of advances in the football department over the last 12 months since Ross Wilson joined us. Ross has come with 10 years experience in the Premiership, and it's clear to see that he knows what good is, if I can use that expression, because we're seeing a real uplift in the standards. Not that they weren't good before, but we're taking it to the next level now. And Ross uses a phrase about a one club ethos, and it's about joining up the academy, the women's team, the performance team, the strength and conditioning, the medical side and the football side. So we're really seeing the benefits of that now. We know there's still much more progress to make, and we are going to, we can't stand still, we have to continually push. I think the other area where Ross has really focused on over the last 12 months has been the scouting and recruitment. And we've expanded the team there, we've changed the processes. And again, I think you can see the recruitment that came in the summer, and we'll continue to look at that. The final area, as I mentioned earlier, is player trading. And that's an area where we know as a club we've made a lot of progress in a lot of areas, but that area is one that we're really focused on, and we know for the business model of the club is an area that we need to start to move 1 or 2 players a year. It won't be a big turnover in the squad, but that's something that we need to do, and that's something that we're very focused on for the summer. The scouting and recruitment and the academy, which I didn't mention earlier, is another key area where we're seeing more focus and a lot of improvement in terms of the changes in structures, the changes in the way that we're doing things. And what it's allowing us to do is to trade up every time. So it means that when we are, and this is no disrespect to the players who've been there previously or the players who will move on, but it gives us an ability to look at, if we improve the processes, we can improve the players. And by improving the players, it means we improve the value of the players and we improve the team. And that comes by having good people in the building. So you look at the coaching staff, you look at the support staff and the backroom staff, and every single person in that team is vital to make sure we get the best out of the players. So we're striving to continually improve in all aspects of the club, but particularly in the football department. The Everyone Anyone campaign is something that I take a lot of pride in. I think we've made a lot of progress on that area. It has been very well received, both internally and externally. It's a key pillar within our diversity and inclusion strategy within the club. It's been given a lot of recognition with the club, and we're delighted at the way that has developed and has moved forward. We have a lot of plans for that for the coming year, but I think what we've done is got it into consciousness. We've got it embedded within the club now, that everybody knows that's a key part of our values within the club, and that to me is very, very important, and I know it's very important to the rest of the board as well. So I think we'll continue to see that evolve and develop, and there'll be some really nice, interesting initiatives will come out of that over the next 12 months. The 150th anniversary is a huge milestone in the club's history. This club's got an amazing heritage, it's got tradition, it's got a very proud history, and the achievements of the past are something that we should be able to celebrate. However, it's not just about the club, it's about where we see ourselves within the role we've played within Glasgow and within Scottish society and Glasgow society. This club has grown as Glasgow has grown, and I think we feel our ties to the city, and the ties to Ibrox and Govan particularly, but the ties to the city are very, very strong. And this, through the development of New Edmiston House, which is going to be the biggest event of the 150th anniversary, we'll open that in the first half of 2022. We will be able to celebrate this history through the opening of the museum. However, the building itself is going to become a key asset for the local community. It'll also be a key asset on match day. It's going to significantly improve the atmosphere and our ability to engage with the fans on a match day. It always amazes me, you're at 12 o'clock on a Saturday, the number of people who are around the stadium, but there's nothing for them to do. So by building New Edmiston House, we're going to create a first-class facility for the supporters on a match day, which will hopefully improve their dwell time. They'll want to come to the ground earlier, they'll want to spend more time round about the stadium. But more than that, it will create a fantastic facility for the community, the local community, and for the city, and hopefully will become a key venue when, within the city. It's going to be a function suite, which will sit 500 for a dinner. It will sit 750 in a theatre style, and it will host up to 1,300 for concerts. There'll be weddings, there'll be conference events, there'll be lots of events that will bring traffic into the area. And it will also give us a modern retail facility, which will be something that the club can be really proud of. And we've worked with Castor closely on how we can design that. So now we're really excited about New Edmiston House coming through. Within that will be the museum, and that for me is the thing that really excites me. I'm a bit of a geek for the history of the club, and I love the old memorabilia. But this is going to be about much more than just looking at some shirts on the wall and some trophies. This is about the story of Rangers and how the story of Rangers is interwoven with the story of Govan and Glasgow and Scottish society. And that's going to be really important to us, because not only is it for the Rangers fans, which we know the fans will love it, and I've seen some of the early designs and the strategy and the story we're going to be telling, the interpretation strategy and the story we're going to be telling. But it really does whet my appetite, when I see some of the things we can be doing there. But the visitors to come to the city, we want to bring Rangers to a much broader audience than just Rangers fans. The Rangers fans get it already. There are so many people out there who I think will be, will love to hear the story of Rangers and will be, totally taken with the story when they actually hear it. So there's going to be lots of interactive features in the museum. There's a lot of digital technology going to be there as well, and we will have the old favourites like the jerseys and the trophies and the old programmes. So no, we're really excited about how that's going to pan out. I'm also pleased to say that early in the new year there will be various announcements we'll be making about other infrastructure projects that we're looking to take forward. They're very exciting projects which will help the development of the club, and with those projects will be opportunities for the fans to invest directly into those projects, directly into the club, and it'll be a way for the fans to leave their mark and leave their part of they can be part of Rangers history. The next 150 years, we've come to the end of the first 150, but we're about to start the next 150. So those announcements will be made early in the new year, and I think John Bennett will probably touch on some of that as well in his speech. We'd like to thank Glasgow City Council and its officials, its senior officials, for the help and assistance that they gave us in getting the planning permission approved, and their advice and assistance has been invaluable in getting there so smoothly. I think the other area I'd like to touch on in terms of that is that we've established a community forum in the last 18 months where we work closely with the local councillors, the local community councils, the local police representatives, the housing associations, and that as well has been, that consultation and engagement has been fundamental to allowing us to get this project approved as quickly as we have. And because I think these people can all see that actually it's going to improve the local economy. It's another asset for the local area, and it's going to enhance the local area. So we see it as part of the regeneration of the area. We're within a regeneration zone, and if we can play our part in that, then we see that as being key to the role we have to play as being part of this city. I think we were all disappointed in the way that 2019-20 season was curtailed early. I mean, the fashion of it the fashion in which that happened, I think left a really sour taste in the mouth, to be perfectly honest. You know, it's been well publicised what our views on that were. I think we, as a club, were keen to try and get the games played. We'd much rather have got the games played to conclusion, as they did in England and they did in most other European countries. However, that path was never really made available to us, and I feel that some clubs, you know, accepted that path a bit too quickly, and if we tried a bit harder, maybe we could have got there. However, we didn't, you know, and eventually there came a point where it was obvious that we weren't going to get there. However, that doesn't detract from the fact that I believe, and the club believes, that the governance of the game in Scotland has to be better than we're getting at the moment. Has to be better than it was in the summer. We're not. I think it could be significantly better in the way that the game could be run. We all want to be, you know, displaying the best product that we possibly can and showing Scottish football in our national game in its best light. And I don't think we do that just now. I really think that there's a lot of improvements could be made on that side of it. But it needs to start with the way the game is governed and the way the authorities govern the game. And we were very vocal about it in the summer. We feel exactly the same way about it now as we did then, and we're still chipping away at it. But what I feel, and we hear from many other clubs who express their dissatisfaction with the way things are being done, but they need to believe in the courage of their convictions and actually come out and support and be a bit more vocal if they really want to see change. Because otherwise it's going to be inertia, it's going to be mediocrity, and we're just going to get the same over and over. So that is key for us, that we try and improve that governance. Yeah, and in closing, I'd like to thank the shareholders for their support. Without the support they've given us over the years, we couldn't do the things that we're doing, we couldn't make the investments that we're making, and we couldn't get this great club back to where we want to get it, to where it deserves to be. It goes without saying, I really want to thank my fellow directors, the board, the club staff who've had a really tough 9 months. You know, this has been a difficult, and I know a lot of the supporters will be in the same position, you know, working from home, and hopefully, touch wood, when we get into the new year, hopefully we can start to see things gradually get back to normal. So I would like to thank all of them, but more than anything, I'd like to thank the fans. I mean, the fans have supported us. They've sold out season tickets when they didn't know when they'd get back to Ibrox. That support has been invaluable, and without that we couldn't do the things we're doing. We couldn't have invested in the squad to the extent that we've done. We couldn't invest in the infrastructure in the way that we've done over the last 6, 12, 18 months. So that support is fantastic. So I'd like to thank them, as ever, for the undying loyalty that they show this football club.